Great. So let me quickly introduce our panelists for the day. We have Kanhaiya Kale from New Indic Trans. Thanks for joining. We have Mina from Extension Technologies, Egypt. We have our Mitesh from Tanzania all the way. And we have Sailesh Bhai from our very own Surat in India. So let me quickly ask the rapid fire, maybe. I think across the years, I think we have seen the traction for open source has really changed, right? So in the initial days, how was the experience like when you used to pitch it to small business or governments or large business? How would they respond? And how's the case now? Let's say how was the case 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and how's the case now? And let's start with Kanhaiya. This is working.
Hello. Yeah. So instead of saying a decade back, rather let's focus on the recent time before COVID and post COVID. So the major changes we saw in open source acceptance, or rather digitalization of a thing, post COVID. So people were not having enough budget or funds the before COVID, but the same thing now they are ready to spend 5x, 10x just for the same thing. That is one aspect we have seen. Now even the transformation or the kind of policies which government is bringing in the last many years we have seen. So that has tremendously bring a changes in the acceptance overall. So people are not much bothered about whether it is a proprietary software or ERP, the open source software. Now their major concern is about whether it is solving our purpose or not. And now, due to that, of course, the licensing and all comes into a picture, and that has bring a major tremendous changes overall.
Okay, Mina, would you like to give your thoughts on this?
I think that yeah, it's the same concept, but I think what they are becoming to realize, even enterprises, that at the end, removing the brand tag from a product, it's software done by people for people, and this is what they are starting to realize more and more. It's about the feature set and the trust they get when they have like a consultant to provide them with support.
Yeah, but do you like really get an inquiry that we are looking at Frappe or ERP Next because it is open source? Do they come looking for an open source solution or no?
I think no. Yeah, no, they became to realize that at the end it's about the code quality, and this is in open source. This is actually can be verified. In proprietary, you cannot do anything about it. So this is how, and the extensibility as well provided out of the box. So they became to realize the difference, and they just became aware that they can just remove the name tag, and everything actually way better in open source as well.
Yeah, Mitesh, please.
So
because all of you guys are coming from different regions, right? So, and this perspective could be different.
So as technology, open source has been there since long. We've been using internet. It wouldn't have been possible without open source in the very first place. But the word wasn't common. It wasn't used so often. Now it's been more often used, and it's also used to measure the flexibility and the ownership and sovereignty, so to say, in this day and age. So that's what has been now as awareness has increased about open source. Having customer come to us because it is that we are doing open source ERP Next implementation is not so much a case, and I very much agree with what Mina mentioned about the code quality, or rather the solution quality matters more than anything else. But there has been now more awareness that proprietary solutions are less flexible, are more expensive.
Customization, extensibility is what becomes a factor with open source.
That's right.
So, special question for Sailesh ji. He's a veteran, SAP veteran. So,
Yeah.
what do you see? I mean, compared to the business opportunities and other product ecosystem, compared to Frappe ecosystem, how would you compare to? And what has been your experience like in last 1 year, I guess?
So yeah, just to set the context, like I am from the SAP B1 background, Okay, so we've been doing SAP B1 since last many years. And just very recently, probably 1.5 years back, I just became a partner. Now, the thing is that in this 1.5 years probably, okay, we've already managed to get more than 10 good-sized customers who approached us for SAP B1 because we were known for that. And of course, we are still the partners of SAP B1. So to be loyal to the product, we explained them B1, we explained them ERP Next, and for them it was very smooth decision that they could go in for ERP Next. Now, there were a lot of, in the partner summit, partner meet also, there was this issues that, people expect it to be free and all that. It's actually how you pitch. That's what I feel. We tell them it's not free. If you are looking for a product as good as SAP B1 or any other comparable product, this is 50 to 80% discounted. Now, how 50 to, if your company size is small, then per user license is approximately 50% of the implementation cost. And if your number of users is maybe 100 or something, then it could be as much as 80% cost of the total cost of implementation, right? So that is where people are very smoothly convinced about it. And obviously, as far as the functionality is concerned, ERP Next has got everything integrated, as opposed to most of the other ERP, at least, or maybe.
So what's your
SAP
current status? What's your current status? Do you do other applications, or your which product you are most focused on at this point of time?
Absolutely ERP Next.
You have given up SAP.
Pardon?
You have given up SAP in a way.
See, now, I just put everything in front of them. Okay, I put them the pros and cons of both of them. And it's a very natural choice that they go for ERP Next.
It's a natural choice. That's a key word, I think, here. It's a
It's
natural choice, and that's a key word here.
It's a natural choice. And,
Round of applause for that, probably.
and one thing I'll tell you, we are from the SMB segment. Okay, so probably the thing, that we are talking about SMBs versus enterprise and all that. So I don't know much about enterprise things. Yeah. And SMB is absolutely going to be a cakewalk.
I think, that's the case across entire Frappe ecosystem. I think most of us are serving SMBs. Most of us. Great. Thanks for such an elaborate reply.
One small insider secret I'll tell. I don't know whether I'm supposed to say that. But basically, SAP, okay, both B1 as well as S4 HANA, okay, their attitude towards selling is changing. Very soon they'll stop selling on-prem licenses. They are going in only for the kind of cloud-based things and all that. And the minimum cost for S4 HANA kind of thing would be around 1 CR annually. Okay, so you guys who are looking at maybe even enterprise things can jump in for that. And I have received a couple of inquiries from some big organizations who are running S4 HANA. And coming to ERP, I was surprised. I had a long talk with them. And they said, see, very frankly, they are now forcing us to go on a recurring basis, cloud basis and all that, and we can't afford it. They are into textiles and all that. So it could be a big opportunity even for the enterprise segment. That's it.
Thanks for such an elaborate response. So another question is basically, I think Kanhaiya has been observing ecosystem for quite a while now. What are the improvements, and what are few things you think if improved would be better for the entire ecosystem, which would enable more customers to onboard to ERP Next and Frappe?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that subject we discussed quite a while. The overall partner ecosystem was not partner pro, frankly telling. That was so of course it has to be built. It has to come from an OEM, and fortunately that things happened very well on time. And if you see the kind of journey in last couple of years for a partner and even for OEM, you see all the numbers in the last 2 days we have seen. All those numbers are not just due to one aspect, it is due to the ecosystem which has changed a lot. So, and even in the recent...
and COVID as for you.
So COVID of course, really that played a very crucial role for the digitalization, of course. And even the recent changes in the overall partner engagement model. So in last 2 years, couple of partners reached out to us asking, is it really worth to become a partner? Are you really getting a business? Are you really getting a leads? And is it worthwhile to pay upfront? So I think that part has been cut down now just by paying a small amount as some kind of a fees, as a registration fees. You are becoming a partner and you are open for a world to serve a customer. So that is a entry level, that entry barrier has been removed now. So definitely there is a huge changes we have seen. Personally, I have seen in the overall partner ecosystem. It is now Partner Pro. It is now a customer. So now partner is pro, then of course it is now a duty of a partner to onboard a customer. Now it is not a duty of a OEM. So I think there are many people now trying and getting into this oral, they would like to become a part of ecosystem and onboarding various good cases. So in the recent numbers, you must have seen various big brands, big enterprises who are going from an enterprise product to a ERP next.
Great, thanks for that motivation. And next one to Mina. So Mina comes from Egypt, and I think it has some special characteristics, the economy itself, right? Fluctuating currencies and whatnot. So ERP Next being an open source product, how it really motivates customers and, ecosystem there to adopt ERP Next compared to other solutions out there.
So recently, the currency got devaluated like a couple of times, and we are expecting the third, I guess. So this puts a lot of pressure in even big-scale enterprises and multinational operating in Egypt to review their cost structures. We are seeing more traction regarding enterprise-scale applications or SMBs. Even the family businesses are considering a lot about investing in any solutions that requires to pay USD at the end of the day. This is the background. We definitely are expecting more and more leads to come this way, enterprise scale, because the solution is already proven in the market. Already there is enterprise accounts using it in production in multiple domains like manufacturing, services. The solution almost is 100% localized. So we think, a lot of traction will be coming up in this way across the next couple of years as well. That's, I guess, is all it.
Great, thanks. So next one to Mitesh. So as a part of strategy, are you able to focus on a specific industry? Because I think more or less we see that is lacking among the partners. And if you do that, would you recommend that to the other partners also, like targeting the specific industry domain?
Yeah, we've seen so many products coming out of Frappe in the past 2 years, and we also have seen that there are so many modules within ERP Next. Some of them have been now taken out so that they have a specific focus and a specific set of the direction to take for getting a customer onboarded. It does require its own set of skills and capabilities. It requires that domain knowledge to make sure that you do that right, do it good, because a good product, if implemented not so well, will leave a bad taste. And so it does require that focus for sure. However, we were at a stage whereby we are all serving SMBs, and SMBs wouldn't have that differentiation when you are not having anything else to do. So people have been picking up projects in the past, but it's about time now. The maturity is there in the market. There is a lot more clarity in the product variation as well, and therefore there are not sufficient partners with sufficient skills in individual domains. It's about time to start getting focused and make sure that you pick up one particular domain, run with it, but do it well.
Are you trying to freeze down to one domain, one industry?
So we have put in a lot of effort in the healthcare. We have put in a lot of efforts in getting integrations done for different scenarios.
Localizations.
And definitely localizations. In fact, every partner around the world, like I gave the talk last year, every partner around the world should focus on making sure that something for that particular region is existing, because that is why outside India it will sell. For India, it's a different case. But for outside India, you can very easily get business against, actually I don't worry about tele. I worry about how to get an SAP customer, get onto the right track and get using ERP next. And the best way to get them use it is to make sure that we solve the local problems with a local customization.
Great, thanks. Seems all of us here are way too worried about the SAP customers. So, coming to the cultural side of Frappe, I think, we experience it day in, day out, and it's pretty normal for us now. But how do you guys see it? What is the, let's say, the cultural element of Frappe you really like and you tried adapting in your company, and how it impacted? Did it work? It backfired?
I didn't get a question. Cultural aspect meaning?
Like the way we do things at Frappe, right?
Yeah.
Like the freedom is given to people, and pick your own work. I
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
ask about
Okay.
pick your own pay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the way things happen at Frappe is sometimes very overwhelming. And I mean, like many of us are not able to understand that. I mean, in the right spirit, probably. Okay, but that being apart, okay. So I believe cultural meaning, I mean, I'm extending it to the ecosystem also, okay. So the ecosystem that we are having, of the people, who are associated with, let's say, ERP Next and the Frappe framework and the FOSS. I mean, that is really marvelous. Like, in SAP B1, what we are experienced is that partners eating partners, right? And here what we are finding, it's just the opposite, Everyone is there to support us. Last year when we started, I mean, we didn't have a single client. And we already gone live with 3 or 4 of them, and managing 10 projects and all that. All that was supported by one partner. Okay, I would love to shout out to him, Dexus. So they really helped us, knowing that it's not that they said that, okay, we'll manage the project for you. Okay, his billing to me would be negligible. Okay, but he was open enough. They said, okay, no problem, you go ahead. Okay, and that is the thing which I really love about
They
it.
didn't like see you as a competitor really, but
Didn't
as a
see
community.
at all. In fact, he said, why do you want to share the project with us? Okay, you guys are having good experience, having good domain knowledge. We'll help you out. And he really helped us. I mean, the entire organization, functionally, technically, we were zero. And of course, Frappe team was there. But along with that,
We were feeling left out in that.
but along with that, the entire ecosystem. So in fact, yesterday I just met someone from, I'm not sure, from Indore or someone. Okay, so they said that they are having a lot of challenges in convincing people, to go in for this open source, and then people expect that it should be zero cost software and things like that. He said, anyone wants anything, you can put them on a call with me, and I'm more than willing to help you out. It's like paid forward for me.
Very
So
nice,
in my
very
small
nice.
way, I can contribute back to the society.
Great win for the community, I guess. That's the spirit. Would you like to add what
I
you
would
like
to share.
try
So,
adapting here?
so when you say it, culture, how the culture has been built in a Frappe. So we have seen for a long time now. We had some setbacks or firebacks in conference itself when there was some differences in the culture of a Indic Trans as a partner, and a culture which has grown the Frappe team has built in. So slowly, gradually, we started getting into trying to understand how the culture has built, and we started getting aligned with the Frappe, and we seen the differences a couple of years back, but now the things
Like
are.
some of examples, like
So I think there was one incident yesterday. I was speaking to one of your colleague again in the organization. So we were trying to show some presentation, and that was not aligned with the expectations as a partner. So we were trying to build something, though it was not proprietary, but of course it was from a business perspective. We were trying to sell something by using a open source core ERP framework. So it was shut down in the mid of session. So we felt bad, but that was an incident. Otherwise, that would have become a practice for other partners and the overall ecosystem. So unless and until someone give you a clear direction or something happens, someone has to stop then and there itself. Then only it gives some direction to us, and that I think that direction was given by the of course the Frappe team. So now we feel we started getting aligned, and we see there is a good level of maturity has been built, and now we see we are quite aligned with the Frappe team. And though for a product team, might be for a OEM team, it not mattered a lot, but for a service partner, we are facing, see, while working with a customer have their own way of working, have their own cultures. So if we try to follow the same culture, the same freedom, I think it will not work while working with every customer, each and every customer. So there somewhere we need to balance it out. But yes, there are some pros, there are some cons. But having aligned, at least for the partner ecosystem, it needs to get aligned with OEM. There is no other way around that I feel.
Thanks for that comment. And I think probably a last question given the time constraint. So I think most of the partners here and the community members here actually find the problem in hiring a talent, even though we have a Frappe school and we are conducting trainings and everything. But how did you build your teams? As in, how did you have Frappe developers and consultants, up to the speed? If not internally, those who basically were trained internally is one thing, but when it came to hiring, how did you solve that problem? And what would you recommend to new members in the community which they should follow?
So of course, I would like to share my thoughts, because we were into this for a long time. In the initial days, we used to hire freshers with some screenings and all, and then getting into grooming them. So it was a big cycle, but of course that is a quite the stable one for a long-term perspective. But this was a case, I think, 4 years, 5 years back. But nowadays, I think there is an ample amount of good resources available in the market for a ERP Next and Frappe. Of course, the credit goes to the kind of the things has been developed in Frappe 2 as a part of Frappe school and the certification which happened. At the same time, people followed the same thing in their organizations by building resources on their own. So that is one way. Second, even having good ties with colleges and for running some kind of self-run programs, that gives a quite matured and at least the known people who have some idea about a ERP Next and the frameworks. Apart from that, I think the certification program is playing a really a good role, because that is what we have made a mandatory for our people in the organization, that everyone has to get certified. Either while joining you get certified yourself, or post joining we will pay for that certification program, but you have to be a certified member, either in the technology side or on the functional
So
side.
you are recommending that you hire anyone and then get them certified?
Yeah.
Good advice to the people.
But
Anyways,
that is very much needed, because when we compete with a proprietary product like SAP or any, there everyone is a certified ones. Those are not certified. So whenever the organization or the customer assess you, first of all, their first question is to check whether you are really capable to handle that part, and that can be proved by just showing a certificate, rather than convincing them by that I have so and so knowledge.
The intention of that question was not at all to promote certification, but yeah, if it's coming from your head, absolutely, why not? Mitesh, just the last bite from you on this, and then I think we'll conclude. Unfortunately, we won't have a time for the Q&A. But yeah, how did you solve the hiring problem, and what would be your recommendation to the team, to the community?
So there is a different scenario when you are in India and when you are in other parts of the world. But having a good user interface, because there are two components in our implementations that we do. One is whatever is the training and the data take on and those activities, and the other one is actually the customization. So on the development part, we have options to tie up with other partners and then get moving till we get our own resources aligned and working together. No doubt the certification has helped a lot, and the trainings more than the certification has helped a lot more. The implementation part is become so easy because of the initial aspect of the Frappe framework, right? Everything is the same. You go to the top right, you see the button of save. You save it, you see the button of submit. So I think the onboarding of fresh graduates to know, whoever knows a business process And even if they don't know, they are guided by the way the workflow is in the system, and the other trainings that are provided helps a lot. So I would say that attending the training and then getting certified later on helps. Attending the training helps the most.
Great. Thanks everyone for the participation and for giving your views. And unfortunately, we don't have the time for the Q&A with the audience. So we'll have to conclude here. And thank you all for waiting here, sacrificing your tea and motivating us.
Thank you.